It is your boys, the BK Game Dev
what's up?
from Brooklyn, New York.
Yep, welcome back.
Don't tell them our locations.
That's BK. We've explained it.
We're called Brooklyn Game Devs, man. Anyway, welcome back. We're here for another stream of game development, and we're excited about this one. We're going to be working more on enemy AI and such. Last week, we were able to get our player doing a 3-attack combo. So that's working now with like damage that's being applied in the background. Of course, there's no visual representation yet at the moment, but that'll come later. But yeah, she has now a short, medium, and like heavy slash kind of, and she can kill that enemy there. But
maybe zoom in. Maybe zoom in a little more, Alex, if you can. Maybe zoom in a little more.
Zoom in.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah. So what we're going to be working on today is we have a small bug to fix where, as of right now, I think when you attack, the player can like move left and right. Can you try that out?
Hold on.
Yep. Yeah. You can like move while attacking, which we don't want. We want the player to stop in motion. And after that, we'll give that enemy some more abilities. So the ability to walk back and forth, attack. And there's an animation for when it dies, so we can probably, hook that up as well.
Yeah, the player kind of looks like they're sliding on ice while they're doing the combo. That's kind of what it looks like.
It looks like ice physics.
Ice physics.
The other thing that we wanted to mention is going forward, we may or may not, but we're not sure. But like at random times, we may do some random streams. Not in the same format as the ones we do on Wednesdays and Thursdays, where there's like more of a structure, a commentary, and like a like we talk through everything we do, but maybe some more dev focused or like gaming focused streams where 1, 2, or maybe all of us are there just kind of heads down in the code. Again, that's to give more insight into like the kind of things we do when we're just like hammering out, development and fixing things in like in a broader scope. Or
right.
Same for a gaming. If we're playing a game and of course, we aren't going to show every waking moment of the game on stream because some of these games are very long. So if we're playing, again, like so yesterday we played a bit of a Bloodstained. If Chris is getting through the next 2 hours of the game and learning more, and we come back on Wednesday with a better understanding, that's the idea of these kinds of streams. So we may be doing that just to give everyone the heads up.
Right, because like on these types of streams, we'll show you some like very like basic abilities. Like right now, we're gonna work on some basic enemy AI, and we'll get into some like complex code, but we'll be explaining it to you in a pretty basic way. And on these potentially random streams, we won't necessarily spend 2 hours explaining it in layman's terms per se. It'll be like way more hands-on into the code, be more developer focused.
Yep.
But this is pretty tentative, and it's a maybe at the moment. We're just considering it, but we wanted to let you guys know in case you might see BK Game Devs went live on a Saturday morning at 11 a.m. So,
yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, so that might happen in the future.
And just to recap some things that happened in between last week and this week in terms of code, we built, or Alex took some time to refactor a bit of our code. So as of right now, we had a lot of our logic inside of our player controller, which isn't bad, but to be able to reuse a lot of these same things, we're pulling a lot of the code out of there, and now we have the ability to use states, actions, and value suppliers. Now, what are those things? So actions are things the player can do. A state is what is the player currently doing? So are they moving? Are they attacking? Are they jumping? Are they falling? Which state are they in?
I created a debug view, or not a debug view, but just to know what states the player is sort of got at any one moment.
Yeah.
Where is it? Yeah, it kind of shows here. Like it's really debuggy, I guess you could say. It's not
very like readable to anyone who's seeing, but to us, yeah, I get it. Like The
Like ground detected here, it says true, was crouching is
true.
false.
Yep, is crouching is false.
Crouching is false. Some of these are just temporary variables in a sense, in a way. They're just temporary. So like they might be used, it might be set. You know how like the was grounded and an is grounded, like we use a temporary variable to indicate whether it was grounded in the first place. You know, it might be it might be set like at the very beginning of like of the logic. So you'll see it's always true because it's just constantly being set and not really being unset.
I get it. Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah,
no worries.
But you can kind of see what happens when I like go right or left. You know, with raw x, for example, you can see that it's now -1, 1. So you're able to just see that these things are here. And we can use them.
Exactly, and that brings me to the last part of the explanation, which is the value suppliers. So as you just saw with the raw x and how it went from 1 to 0 to a -1, he created a way where when the player takes an action, the value is passed through a supplier rather than just directly in the code. And this
Quan, are you guys cutting off? Is that me? Is that just me? Is that my internet?
I think it was just Quan.
Okay, cool.
Quan,
you're cutting off a little.
You cut off a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just noticed that the stream was actually loading for that moment, so maybe that's what happened.
I think it was just you. It might have just been you. Yeah, it was just you.
I'm saying on Twitch I saw it loading. Maybe
it was just you though.
It was just you though. But yeah, so the value supplier will supply values.
Well, I mean, I could explain that one if you want.
Sure.
Excuse me. So basically, initially with our actions, especially our state-setting actions, we sort of had this thing going where let me go to one of them. I think that's probably best. Where we're kind of just setting a state to a true or false value. Let me go normal. You know, these like sort of static, simple to set values from the editor. You know, if you wanted to, you could use a number 1, a 0, -1, whatever it is that you needed for your purpose. But it wasn't dynamic in a sense like, you know, if we wanted to pass through a value, it's not exactly easy to deal with that. With true or false, maybe we could do it in this situation of, you know, oh, if this particular state is true, then set this value to true. But when it comes to floats and integers, like there's an infinite amount of numbers that you could use there. So you can just like create a condition for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's a little weird. So what a value supplier does is just allows you to just pass through a value into the action for the action to use. And in our case, for walking, you know, we're passing through what a state value called raw x, which can be either -1, 0, or 1, which matches the horizontal axis input, right? Which is, you know, A, D, or left or right. It pulls from that. The value supply is pulling from that through a function, and then what we're saying here is like the default thing that we want to use for player walking is that value. Like we want to pull from this value supplier. And the value supplier could be anything, you know, anything that it's just a class. You can create a subclass of it, implement your own logic as to what it should return, and then your action kind of just handles that value in the way that makes sense, right? For walk, it's just using it as like whether to indicate it's going right or left for velocity. You know, for jump, it may be something else, maybe the vertical value, up and down. So, yeah, it just makes this easier so that we could pass through these values without having to do some weird complicated-ish on the inspector side. So it's just a lot of fancy code to make things easier.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
sounds good.
So if you're in chat and you're non-technical, Alex made the code cleaner and more efficient and more manageable for the future. That's what he just described.
Yeah, I create things based on our needs. So like I'm migrating all the, as Quan or Chris, one of you guys said it, that I'm bringing over player controller code to this action-based system. It just created a need for these sort of constructs or structures, basically. Yeah, but you know, everything is the purpose of everything is for us to just be able to make game logic within the inspector rather than code wherever possible. Whether that's the best route, who knows? But it's also just reduces the amount of code we need to write in general for a particular thing.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, non-coders could also use it, right?
Yeah, they just drag and drop a whole lot of stuff and it'll take care of it itself, which is, again, a very good way for us to have our code. It makes it a bit more readable instead of having to read through lines and lines of code every time.
Yeah, kind of like, what's that thing, Scratch? What is it called?
Yeah, Scratch. That, for those of you who don't know, Scratch is a game engine where there's very minimal amounts of coding. The way you handle like logic is quite literally these drag and drop blocks that will handle your logic for you, and then you can use that to make your player move and make your enemies attack and stuff like that.
Yeah, so for anyone who's like literally non-technical at all, you've never seen code at all before, and you want a taste of like how to make like your first game, that like I would recommend Scratch, you know? Like it's not it's visual, it's like visual coding. It's drag and drop. Well,
I think you could still use Unity, but
you could still use Unity.
Yeah, like you would especially 2021 and like 0.2 and above, the version, it comes with a what's called a visual editor.
Is it called Flow? What is it called? Is it called Flow? And mixing things up, like is there like a visual paradigm in Unity where you don't have to use code for certain like?
It used to be called.
I'm not sure.
That was the package, but now they added like it's just like the visual. It's like a visual editor. I don't know how else to say it. Like I could create something right now. If
I think it's just called visual scripting. Actually,
right, visual scripting. There you go. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's just called visual
blocks.
scripting.
I tried it out. It's pretty interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. So
yeah, I
just dropped it in a link in the chat. It's
cool.
That's linked to like just Unity's documentation on visual scripting.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nice. It's simple to use. You don't have to write code with it. I personally don't use it because code makes more sense to me.
Yes. The thing about, again, it's good for beginners because you don't have to do as much of the coding, but the benefit of code is you can create very niche and complex code specific to what you're doing, and that's the benefit that we get here. So yeah, if you're non-technical, just trying to be like, what goes into making a game, what kind of logic do I think about, I think that the visual scripting in Unity or Scratch is a good place to start.
Because like I get it, code can be scary if you like have no idea what we're talking about. Like,
here it is. Here it is.
You know.
It's the visual scripting graph. It's like a graph.
Right.
It's like graph connecting nodes, stuff like that.
Yep. Very similar to Scratch, yeah.
And sometimes just a visual could really like help you like understand something better instead of just talking about really, really abstract, complex concepts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just for people like I guess for people like us, we're more we think
more technical. Yeah.
So like,
and we've been studying computer science for a long time now. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Too long.
Yeah. Word. But yeah, so let's fix the players moving while attacking.
So what I was going to do, right? See here how I'm sort of supplying a value from raw X by default?
Yep.
Well, instead of doing that, I just do it conditionally.
I was going to say, yeah, you'll add a conditional value. And so the list here will be...
For now, because all of the attacking uses it, but we can swap it out at some point, there is one for is performing combo.
Yeah, that's one that I was looking at. So, and a combo can be attack 1, attack 2, or attack 3, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember though if this is set like on attack 2 or on attack 1.
Oh, as in like maybe attack 2 counts as starting a combo because attack 1 is singular.
Well, I mean, let's see.
Let's just put the condition as a condition is performing combo, and then we can do 2 tests. One where we do a simple attack or a single attack and try to move, or one where we do the combo attack and try to move.
Yeah. So for anyone that popped in like late, what the bug we're trying to fix right now, basically the player is like kind of engaging in ice physics. So like the player is kind of sliding across the ground when they're performing an attack combo.
I forgot to do this because I can't be. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so they're like sliding across the ground when performing an attack combo. And what Quan was just saying is we kind of want to figure out like at what part of the combo that they're actually sliding.
Oh, whoops. Sorry. It's the opposite. This can only happen when we're not performing combo.
Oh, you used is not performing combo.
There we go. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so the condition is if they're not performing a combo, then you can supply the value from their input, which is going to be -1, +1, or 0. Otherwise, you can't supply it.
Let's see.
Okay, so I just saw it happening. Wait.
Yeah, no. See, it's stopping an attack too. That's when the combo's being performed. So
okay, so then what we need is
a new one like that's just like straight is attacking.
Is attacking, which I think will have a lot of use later in the future. So again, just what's happening here is we're going to create a new.
I don't know where to set it though.
You know where? What? Sorry.
I'm not sure exactly at what stage to set this in.
Or I'm trying to think. Is attack key down? Does that only happen for attack 1?
No, it happens for all of them, but it captures it like at one point. It's not indicative of
I get you. Happening. I understand. Sure, fair enough.
Hold on. If I do set perform combo, we have alter state performing defaults. Performing attack 1.
Yeah, we have 2 routes we could do. We could add another condition where it's saying not performing combo and not, performing attack 1. Or we can create a general is attacking, which again then we have to manage where it falls into our list of perform combo like states, because this condition continues once you go from attack 1 to attack 2, attack 2 to attack 3.
In general, is attacking. So we could set it in the animation, but we just have to make sure that if any of those animations sort of get interrupted, that we set it to false.
Yeah, because then what'll happen is they'll get stuck in the state without. If they interrupt the if they get hit or something,
it'll stay true. Just like performing combo will actually performing combo kind of deals with this issue right now.
Oh yeah, because we didn't make that fix yet, right? Sure, okay, so yeah, if you were to get hit while performing a combo, it would count you still in the state of performing a combo, whereas it should take you out and say you're back to you're in hurt state and then idle state, I guess.
Yeah, unless we. By default, it always goes to play idle, right? Before anything else. Am I right? Or...
What do you mean? Sorry? Say that again?
No, I was thinking since idle, it goes through here by default before it goes to any of these other states, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if this is the point right here. This is always the point by default where we can just set things to false, sort of initialize them.
You make a fair point. Let's try it out.
Yeah. So here's
what Alex is. Yeah, go ahead.
No.
What Alex is getting at is because we need to set all these things back to false at some point. A good point to do that is on the idle state, because when the player is idle, all other actions are just not true. The only thing that's true is that they're grounded. So if they're idle and just standing still, they're not running, they're not attacking, they're not falling, they're not jumping, they're not getting hurt, they're just standing still. So once we hit that animation again, we know, okay, we are back to a base state. Maybe that's where we can set, is performing combo, is attacking, is doing X, Y, or Z to false, since that idle state is kind of like our, base state.
At least for now. I don't...
Yeah, at least for now, and if any issues arise, we'll address them, but I do follow the logic, though. That is a good... Nothing else is happening. That is literally, if you just press play on the game, you're in that state because you're not taking any kind of action yet.
Yeah, I wonder about this too. We have this can transition from attack, because anything that isn't an animation, like being set through an animation and being unset through an animation, can be interrupted. So we have to keep those in mind. Let me see. So we have condition. Okay, for now. For the now. here, animation.
Yep.
We'll just set this as an animation event right here at mark 0.
Yep. So as soon as the idle starts, we'll create a new is attacking. Cool. So then we'll create another scriptable object asset with the same name, right?
Huh?
We'll create another scriptable object asset with the same name,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. But hold on, I just have to add it to all the places.
No worries. Yeah.
So here, we sort of set it to false. Is attacking. Should probably just copy
Okay, I thought we only need to do it on idle. Or you're saying like if? Oh no, you're saying if attack gets interrupted.
Yeah, there's like So this is if this attack goes fully through.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Because we could.
You guys describe to chat the basic plan that you have right now, the basic idea that you're going to test out.
Sure. So the plan is to we can set events on the animation.
Is falling a
Yeah.
We just have to make sure that there's nothing in here that okay, so hold on. So we have dash, right? And dash can interrupt walking, so prevent walking.
Yeah.
What is this? Transition to fall.
Fall can interrupt, I think, almost
anything.
Almost anything, yeah.
So that's a big issue there. Because like if we attack in air, then we just fall. And then there's no idle. There's no going through idle.
Yeah. You are totally right. So I get what you mean. Okay, so yeah, that won't work. But yeah, the idea was idle is a base state. So if anything gets interrupted, you'll always end up back at the idle state. But that case isn't always true. If you jump over a pit, for example, attack in midair and get hit, you'll be in attacking, get knocked out of attacking state, but it won't set itself to false if we don't. Again, that's what we're trying to fix. But if we don't set it, you'll still be in the attacking state in midair, fall to your death, and you'll never have hit the idle state. So things won't get reset, and that'll cause a whole myriad of problems as we go. So we need to come up with a clear way to make sure states are unset when they get interrupted.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about them right now.
Yeah.
So here we have when we exit the state. Yeah, it's. I guess it's. If we go to idle.
So let's see how can we make this work? Because I think that our animation, like the transitions, are good. We don't want to like put everything through the idle state to look weird in the game. What we do want to do is what? How can we make sure it always? Yeah, if there were a way to know if an animation gets interrupted.
Well, we have to basically look at every single. We have to go by every single thing that can interrupt it.
Exactly. Yeah. I understand.
We may have to restructure this in general, because like maybe we don't want certain states to interrupt certain states, because certain things, like there's a lot of things here that could just interrupt any state. We may not want that. Like.
I understand. Yeah. Fair enough. Like. Yeah.
Because I wonder if dashing can be interrupted.
I think we stopped dashing from being interrupted, but now I wonder, like, if we apply damage to the player.
Right now, enable inputs the way it's going right now, but that one enables inputs thing. I haven't integrated that with the action-based system yet, so there is no enable inputs.
Got it. Okay. Sure.
If there will be at some point, then we can, Yeah.
You guys think this would require a little bit more time to rethink, and we could circle back to this bug?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's 6:30, so I say we said this is gonna be an enemy AI stream. Let's come back to this. So let's take some time in between streams to figure out exactly how we want to do this is attacking. And I say for now, let's go back to working on the enemy. Let's get the Drake to attack, walk, and do all that stuff.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Like this is one of those things that takes some time.
Yeah, take more time.
I agree.
Hold on. Let me put this back. Okay, what do we do?
We're going to keep working on the enemy AI. So first thing, the Drake is just runs away as soon as it spawns.
Right. So we could choose to fix that bug, if we want, or we could like dive right into the actual feature that we wanted to work on, which was the moving between point A and point B.
I think those are one
bug?
and the same.
What bug?
It's not actually a bug. It's just that the way that we have it right now. If you play,
right. It's not a bug.
That the Drake just walks away because of how we implemented it.
Right, yeah, that's not really a bug. That's just there.
Yeah, it's not a bug. It's just there.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, well, what we can do is those two things are one and the same. So making it so that the Drake walks between 2 points, will fix this issue by itself. And then if we can, we'll also try and make it so that the Drake will also stop. So the idea is not to have it just like walk back and forth constantly. It should kind of be like a patrolling kind of enemy. So it should walk to some point, stand there and wait for a bit, then walk the other way, stand there for a bit, and that's our goal right now. Again, a very basic enemy.
Are we doing it until we like hit wall or hit
I say so. We already have the hit corner, right? Like it's not walking off the edge.
Yeah.
I say we can have it do just until it hits wall or hits corner. I think that's a perfect way. So we don't want this enemy to be so dumb that it just like walks off and it kills itself. Now maybe we want that for other ones, but not this one. This one should be more like a guard dog-ish type thing. Kind of like.
Do you guys want to start with just like point A to point B and then have it like be able to detect like a wall or like a ledge afterwards, or do you want to actually?
Yeah, say let's just get it to move.
Wait, step by step, right? Let's get.
That's what I mean.
Figure out how to get it to turn around.
Step by step. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's that's how we'll do it. We'll get it so that it's just moving back and forth, and then we'll add the waiting and patrolling like afterwards. That's just the end goal.
All right. So yeah, we'll start with the back and forth. Yeah. Okay.
So, how do we do facing?
Facing.
Yeah, right now I think we emit an event. Based on the input X or Y, or that's what we used to do. Set facing direction. Yeah, inputs.raw y is greater than 0. Then we set it on line 197, and then we and then here we. We don't emit an event anymore because we fixed that issue. So yeah, now we just change the local scale, which makes sense. I think that's a.
This is just facing, right? So the idea is go set 1 when we're going this way, and then when we want to turn around, set it to -1.
Yeah.
Until you hit wall again. And just
one
keep
is
doing
right
that.
and negative one is left.
Keep doing that, right?
Yeah, just keep doing that on. Yeah, so we could, and then later I think we'll need to. Again, this is a future thing. We'll have to enhance it because we may not want all enemies to walk such far distances. Like, let's say we have a very long stretch of flat land. We don't necessarily want the enemy to walk all the way. Maybe they patrol within like a certain like radius. But again, that's for later. So right now, I think that what you said is perfect. Just 1 if they're going to the right, -1 if they're going to the left. That should have the enemy just pinging back and forth. And then we only have to worry about the local scale, so it's facing the right way and not like moonwalking backward and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking.
Sure. So what are you thinking?
Let me see how I handle grounding, because I think that's just gonna give me an idea.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So first we have to sort of. Let me see.
Also, shout out to everyone in chat. I think I see some new faces. If so, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you joining us. We're working on some enemy AI this evening, and we're trying to get our enemy just do a basic patrolling and walking at the moment. And then as our streams go on, we'll add more complex logic where it'll attack, or it'll if it sees the enemy within a radius, it might follow them or something. But again, for today, we're getting the basics of just moving back and forth up at them. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Quan, I think we like somehow share a brain, because like 5 seconds before you said that, I was like getting ready to say the exact same thing.
I'm
absolutely insane.
Surprised because that's how it was in college. Like
Absolutely
you and I
insane.
are on the same wavelength all the time.
Absolutely insane. Like,
so,
I don't know what the odds are of that, but it's absolutely insane. It's just fine. So I echo the exact same sentiment that Quan just said. So thanks a lot for being here, guys. A lot of new people showed up. Some old faces, some new faces. We appreciate all of you. Thank you very much.
You know the vibes.
You know the vibes.
Thank you, Lazy.
You know the vibes. We do know the vibes, and you know the vibes.
You'll always be that lazy in us.
We're not using the superior seed.
With the lazy leaf with this stuff, man. Look, at least let us rock because we're using C sharp. We're not using C++. No. It's not a chat language.
We're using C sharp. You're using C flat.
Oof. Yep. I'm gonna just roll with it. Yeah. Boo.
That was my music in me. That was my music.
That was the music in you for sure. And if anything,
I got a music tattoo on my. Hold on. I got a music tattoo on me, so I had to. No one can see that. I don't know.
Oof.
No one can see that.
Oof. But Alex, so yeah, what are you thinking in terms of how we might do this? So, a conditional value, condition floor, detect right. Did you just create that and I didn't notice?
No. That's been there. Basically, with this conditional thing.
This is what stops you from walking off the corner, right?
Yeah. So keep walking to the right until you detect no floor.
Got it. That All right.
I think right. No. Yeah. This you can only walk to the right as you detect a floor on that specific corner.
Is there a way that we could genericize, make that more generic by having this like a condition floor detect, and then based on whichever, like the same way we do the wall jump on the player, where it's on the front of them, and anytime their local scale turns, it just flips. So we don't have to check for walking on left and right.
That's what I'm trying to do here. So
Got
here
you. Okay.
I'm setting. Well, I'm not flipping yet. That's gonna be part of it, right?
Okay.
But for now, the before even flipping right, like flipping them like this, it's more so like just making them go left and right. Like
okay.
so and then we add on the logic of trying to flip it, because that I'll have to add a new sort of action that sets scale.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so here I'm setting Drake X. I'm just, doing the value. It's 0 by default.
Drake X.
Drake X. Let me think about this one. Yeah. Oh, feel free to also like help me think about this, because I basically have to set like for example, I have to set this to 1 when on certain condition.
Yeah, so for the Drake X, okay, so let's see. We set it to 1 when it's moving right. But how do we know it's moving right? Because it's not taking an input like the player, where
it's kind of like what it is more that we want to set it to a certain value once we that's what it is.
I get you. Once we stop detecting, we detect a floor. I mean, either once we detect a wall on the left or right, or we detect that there's no floor. That whenever that becomes true, we then go the opposite way.
That's kind of what that's kind of what it is.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So keep going. So we do -1 the moment you cannot detect any more floor.
Yeah, when there's nothing else on the right that you can walk past, your velocity is not, or your direction is -1, which is left in this case for Unity, and the enemy will just walk the other way. And then we need a similar one for a wall, because it won't always be a ledge, for example.
Just to be clear, we're not doing like a point A, point B. We're doing like the lack of like a floor / there's a wall. That is what.
Say that one more time. Sorry.
Like we're not using the whole like if there's a point B, that's when the enemy is going to turn around. It's more like the lack of a floor / the enemy hits a wall.
Yep, exactly. It's at its dumbest point right now. So before giving it 2 like patrol points, like an A and a B,
I thought that patrolling points would be the dumbest before you get to detecting a wall.
Oh.
That's what I was saying before.
Oh, got it. I think this is dumber because it doesn't even know when to stop or when to change. Whereas the point A and B, it needs to know. I think here it just walks till it like, okay, I like bash my head into a wall or see a pit, so I'm just gonna turn. But again, both are fine. I think.
Okay. So we could do it like that, and then point A, point B could be the next level. All right. I'm fine with that.
Oof,
I'm fine with that.
Not even moving.
Oof. Let's see. Okay, so
right now, what I defaulted to 1 until you can't see. Like this is like a weird thing. It's constantly gonna go to. No, it's me. It's me.
What happened? What do you think you did?
No, I never actually. It's not even as like a part of the pipeline, I guess you would call it.
Oh, this is the action provider which sets all the things that it can do.
Yeah, this is kind of like where we actually want to set this. It has to set this is an action. It has to be. It has to.
Okay, so on the first frame, it'll set it to 1, and then from then on, it'll take care of. Okay.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. I'm just. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
It doesn't work. Because you'll notice it's kind of like doing like a shiver, right? Because it basically like the moment it goes back, it does detect floor.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
So, can there be like some type of offset for that box? I don't know how.
No, I think we need to stop detecting floor at some point.
I'm saying, so what's drawing the box at that place? I think what Chris is saying, can we just draw it like 0.1 to the right, and so that it won't need to flicker because it'll always be like far enough ahead of the player. I mean, ahead of the enemy.
No, but when it's going back, it's going to start detecting floor again because it's still in that position, regardless of what offset it is.
Or we could have it like turn around, like not like maybe once it stops hitting the floor, but like maybe like a foot before it even stops hitting the floor.
Like before it hits the corner, you mean?
Yeah, so like there's a level of intelligence, like we have it be like a level, like we code some type of intelligence where it's just like,
I get you.
Oh, I see a ledge, not like, oh, I the actual ledge. I'm literally at the inch of the ledge, like I see a ledge a foot in front of me, let me turn around.
Yeah, got it. It's not like it's like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna test fate. Walk to the edge, push my luck, and then turn.
Right, like there's a ledge a few feet in front of me. Now I'm turning around. I mean, that's when we stop it. Like that's what I mean by offset.
The question is, do we want our enemies to be more intelligent or daring? Do we want them to always walk right to the edge of doom, or be smart enough to be like, yeah, let me live to see another day? I think that the latter is probably better, to be honest.
I guess I'm just trying to.
What was the ladder?
The ladder was the one that you were saying, where it stops a few feet ahead of a ledge or something.
Maybe not even a few feet, like literally just like a foot. Yeah.
The proverbial foot, because in pixels I have no idea what a foot constitutes, but
yeah. Like yeah.
a foot in pixels, whatever that means.
Right. Exactly.
A foot in pixels.
Exactly.
Yeah, Alex. So I see the altering the Drake's X velocity, or like horizontal. You set that one to 1 on what condition? I didn't notice.
No, I'm trying. Sorry, I'm still trying to like think this one out.
Got it. Okay.
Cool. See, that's the thing about working with this stuff in action-based systems.
Yeah.
In code, it's a little harder to do this in sort of these logical blocks.
I get you. Yeah. That is the hurdle that we're gonna face.
But we can, if we use a group action, we can prevent that whole thing of it just constantly having to check it. Just thinking how best to do this.
So we need to, once the text, we need to fire some sort of event. Show me the Drake wall action again, the one where you, or the altered Drake X, sorry. Or no, okay. There was one where you had the one that didn't work, where you had it as 1 and -1
But that's what this was.
Oh, okay.
It just sets it into -1 the moment that we
I'm no longer detecting floor on the right, and that didn't work because why? Because that makes sense to my brain at least, but I saw it not work. I'm trying to understand why it didn't work. So
what we can do is hold on, let me try this. See, like this, it's just working with it in interesting ways.
I say also maybe I'm trying to think. Do we want to have all these? That's a refactor. But what I'm thinking is for the generic types of actions. So instead of it being like Drake left, Drake right, maybe we'll eventually make it like an enemy left, enemy right. Because I assume most enemies will probably need to turn, probably need to walk, probably need to do basic similar kinds of actions. Where, So again, we're taking this action-based approach, and we're trying it out. We haven't done it before. We're trying to make as much possible in the inspector on this side instead of in the code. If we were still doing the code route, we would make one single enemy controller and then apply it as needed, so they could all do the same things. So we'll probably end up refactoring this to match that in a certain way, where we'll have the enemies all be able to move left, move right, detect walls, detect the player, detect the ledge. Yeah. The only ones that might be different are like flying kinds of enemies where there is no concept of like a floor for them. They just move back and forth in whatever like bounds that we set.
Or they could move, well, I guess maybe this is what you're saying, in like a specific pattern that we
exactly that.
Yeah. Like it could be like a math formula.
Yeah, it can be
like a sine or cosine wave or something.
Yeah, like a wave or a zigzag or whatever we want.
Yeah.
So, still, I'm trying to think here. Yeah, group Drake decide. So condition. We set it to 1 just on update. That worked. I think then don't we want that to be -1?
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
This should be side. Here in this sort of
We have a question in chat if you want to address it, Quan.
Sure, okay, yeah.
Not necessarily. It's this sort of condition that I created. I'm specifically creating a collider at this very specific offset of to the right, and then like downward. So on the right corner, there are probably going to be multiple of these conditions or these collision detect conditions being placed around based on what we need. Like for example, there's going to be one where we're checking if you're basically about to get to a ledge, right, where you don't want to keep walking in that case. And then the other one is going to be a sort of wall. So right wall, left wall. If you detect a wall, you don't want to keep walking either, right? You want to just turn around. So in all, there would be probably like 4 different collide detect conditions, is what I would call them.
So I actually agree with Nifihi here, because I think that what they're getting at is the way we handle, again, the player, where what if instead of drawing it at a specific, we can keep the offset, but let's draw it based on the enemy's location. The same way how we draw the wall jump for the player based on their colliders, like bounds, so that if the player is standing forward, their wall jump like collider is on their front. So even if they turn the other way, the local scale will flip that drawing of that bounds on the same place. So it'll be on their left or right. Because remember, before we had like a left and right wall jump collider. Now we only have one because it just flips.
That's the thing. It's not a it's not a collider on the enemy.
I'm saying, why don't we do that then? Like, why don't we the same way we put that collider on the player, we put it on the enemy. Or even if it's not on the player, but that same paradigm, like let's have it just be on the front, and when it flips, it just moves to whatever
I think that's fine. I think it's just a matter of this like sort of logic that we're using. Okay, hold on.
So is that what you meant, Nifihi. Like I think I understood what you meant, but I'm not sure if that's how they did it. Yeah. I get that. Yeah, that's how we're handling the player right now. We're doing exactly what you're saying. We're just putting the collider on one side and it flips by itself. What we're curious about now is how to get this done through the action-based system that we have created. So I think we should be able to do something similar, Alex. I think that it would make sense to not have to handle left and right, because we just want to handle like, are you touching a wall, are you touching a ledge, and let the local scale or whatever handle that. Like if we find a way to draw it just in front of whatever enemy type it is, then we don't ever have to worry about left or right. We just need to worry about, are you touching a wall or are you about to walk off a ledge?
How did you do that with player controller?
So if you go to, I think it'd be in handle grounding or handle wall sliding or something. Maybe it's handle grounding. Yeah, here. So right now we are based on if the player is facing left or right, we're drawing it just at the negative extents Y or positive extents Y. So like if they flip, it flips with them. I'm saying a similar thing there. So now if the enemy is facing left, it's positive X, where you start drawing this like overlap box to test out where a wall or ledge is, and then if they flip, it's negative X. So that's how we're handling it here for the wall check. So instead of having to have a left and right, it's just one collider that's drawn based on just at the extents Y. So like at the negative edge or the positive edge.
I think we just had an ad run, and we also just got a new chat from a new viewer. First time chat.
Hey. Toxicity Rose. That is a fun name.
And they also just said, "Oh, there's an ad." So that falls with what I just said.
Yep, exactly. Sorry about the ad. What were we going to say? Just to recap, since you just joined, and for other people, we're trying to get our enemy to walk back and forth, and so some of what might help with that is being able to flip their ability to notice a ledge or a wall. We want them to, like, if the enemy detects a wall, they turn the other way. If they detect a ledge, they walk the other way. So we're trying to find out a good way to handle the movement of that enemy inside of an action-based system. What we've done is we've changed our code around, so instead of having to write code for everything, we're trying to drag and drop kinds of like actions that dictate what an enemy or any kind of actor can do, and we're running into some trouble there. So Alex, what are you trying now?
As you said, the facing thing.
Okay, so.
And if this is your first time here, we are working on a Metroidvania called Soribel. And This is our 11th stream working on it. So thank you for popping in.
Word, yeah. Always fun to have more people in chat and watch us as we work on this game.
State controller. Let me create a private function real quick. State controller.
Okay, so this return. Okay, got it. So based on the transform, you'll get the state controller for that actor or that object.
Yeah, it's really because yeah, here we go. It's because I don't want to repeat this code.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, just put it into a common place and just use it everywhere we need. Makes sense. Cash money. This is these problems are not cash money. But figure them out.
Hold on, I just need to get this guy. Cash. Yeah, and then.
So what is the cash for?
So as opposed to always always pulling out the state controller, I had added is this sort of caching mechanism to just like hold the value once I've actually pulled it.
Makes sense, yeah. Instead of having to always get that component each time, we'll just cache it. Makes sense. Sounds good to me.
Controller is equal to get state controller, except transform and
Sure. Yeah.
cache value.
Transform cache.
Because facing left is equal to false. Not string. Dot is null. White space. What is it called?
Drake X. Oh, sorry. No.
Facing key.
Oh, facing key. Okay.
Need to remember
I. Yes, we are using Unity for development. We use Unity, C#, and yeah, we've been working on this game for a short while now. We were working on another game for the last like all of last year. We were working on a small platformer game that we were using to learn more development tricks and tips. Because again, we are not like amazing game devs. We're learning and growing as we build this game.
You're new, so
yeah.
you're working on Snake, like
Snake.
Okay.
Like the game where you like grow your tail, right? That is a good place to start. I think it's a great place to start in terms of game design. It helps understand a lot about movement, a lot about creating and destroying objects and stuff. So yeah, cool. I remember trying to build Snake a while ago. It wasn't as easy as I thought, and it was in Java. It was not fun. It was not fun at all. Yeah. You gotta start somewhere. That's all good. It's all good. Today it's Snake, and then in the future it's some super awesome indie game like Hollow Knight or like Dead Cells or any of the greats. You know.
You gotta start somewhere.
Facts. To think that Hollow Knight was made by 3 people, man. Like, yeah, they went hard, dude.
I can't get over.
I can't get over it. Yeah, it's because it's like they all clearly had to be very skilled at their craft, because the soundtrack, for it to be that much of a banger, like, and you're alone just writing that, like, I mean, respect, like, respect.
Takes a lot of creativity and focus.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like,
I could tell you that much.
Yeah, and Chris makes music. He would know.
I'm gonna try to do my best here
Hey.
for us.
Like we just said, gotta start somewhere, man.
Yeah.
Again, today is it's a 30-second theme. Tomorrow it's a 3-minute boss battle, aggressive like metal, like a Rush song. Sure. Yep. So the game we're working on is named Soribel. Sorry. And the genre is a Metroidvania. So a lot about exploration and ability locking and gaining new abilities to traverse the world. The premise we haven't shared yet. We haven't shared too much about the story yet. We're working on that and building it out as we go. So we're waiting to share that until we have a bit more information and when we feel like the time is right. But right now we're focusing on core elements of the game. So in a Metroidvania, you need the ability to attack, have enemies that move, have a lot of movement abilities and stuff like that. So since this is one of your first times being here, we've in the previous few streams added like wall jumping, dashing, double jump, sliding, crouching to our player to give them those movement abilities around the world. Now we're focusing on more of the combat. So right now we're working on getting the enemy to move and then we'll move on to other things in the next few streams.
And while we haven't, shared any of the story or plot, we can tell you that, we are influenced by games such as like Hollow Knight, Super Metroid, Castlevania, and Ender Lilies, Ori, Dead Cells.
Oof.
So if you're a fan
those are some of our biggest influences.
Indeed, 2D. Yep, 2D. That is the route that we're going. We're going
2D, correct.
The art we're using right now is actually just some placeholder sprites. What we're going for in the future is more of a Hollow Knight or Ender Lilies style, like the hand-drawn kind of look. A more flat 2D rather than pixel 2D. So yeah.
Yeah, so we're definitely still in the beginning stages of the game. We're just fleshing out a lot of, basic abilities and basic game mechanics, and behind the scenes we're fleshing out plot and story and a lot of cool stuff that we have not shared yet. But, yeah,
Alex, so I saw a bit of the code as I was talking. So where are we now?
Not sure.
Okay.
So I added facing. Oh, no, not Mozilla. Don't do that.
Roku, how you doing?
I added
Thanks
facing.
for popping in.
Hey,
to this,
Roku, what's up?
I added facing to this sort of collision detection thing.
Yep.
It pulls from like if I were to set this right to true, it would pull from this state Drake left. Where is it? Right here. See. So I'm saying use facing, and this is the key that it's going to extract that value from. So
I get you.
It should put it on the left side, for example.
Yep, and so facing left should be based on 1 or a -1. Like, sorry, if it's true, it'll be the negative because that's left. If it's false, it'll be 1, which is right. That's the idea, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to figure out how getting back to game dev, writing small scripts with the help of some tutorials again. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, for sure. Those small scripts work. The simple jumps, a simple attack, a simple enemy that moves back and forth. Those are the things that even that we're doing here. It's those things that having a good foundation in game design or in game design and game development or coding is just a great way to start because everything builds on that, right? Like you need to be able to just do the basic movement, basic jump, basic attack and enemy stuff before you go into super complex
if you go back to some of our like earlier streams, like I mean some of them were like didn't save because we didn't understand how Twitch worked, but like if you go to some of our earlier streams, you will literally see like us having like a cylinder just like moving back and forth, a cylinder moving up. We're using like very basic code that we like learned in college, and then we learned so much since then, and we have just we're working with a code base that is so much more advanced just from last year. It's absolutely insane and unbelievable. So we're in a much better position just after 1 year. So we're very impressed with our own progress.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Alex, what were you?
We did go to college. We went to college together, the three of us. We took game design, game programming, like computer graphics, algorithms, data structures, computer graphics classes together. We have experience together. We're good friends.
For sure. Yep. Alex, what were you working at? I see you're using the state key to. Like I'm not exactly following what you're doing.
Just give me a moment, and I'll.
Sure, and then you can explain. Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I'm not really sure myself. I'm just kind of trying things out.
Yeah, I totally feel that.
But basically, based on whether we're facing left or not, it's going to set this sort of value here, right? So, if we're not facing left, so. Yeah, here we go. Hold on. Where is it?
Yeah, I love it.
That is great right now.
Yeah, so Lazy Leaf says that nothing solidifies friendship like struggle food in the college cafeteria, and that's a fact.
It's true.
Everyone's struggling for this less than ideal food.
I did not like that food.
And yes, we remember you, Roku. Okay. We did follow you last time.
For sure, yeah. I had a good time. It was very late for a few last time that you were here. I assume it's the same now. And Toxicity Road says they were going to go to Art Institute or Full Sail. Yeah, I've heard about them. I don't know much in depth. I definitely have heard about them and heard about some success stories, but I don't.
College isn't required. That's just my own point of view, but it could help you. It could help. It's to each their own. Like it's a good sense of structure, but there's so many resources available online that are free or low cost.
Yeah. Most of what I do for my daily job, I learned outside of college. So it's definitely there's tons of ways, and especially with YouTube and Udemy, like you can learn so many things without needing to necessarily have a degree, and I think it's great. Alex, I keep asking you. I'm trying to make sure that everyone is following what you're kind of doing. So you're
Yes.
what's the goal here? Still trying to get it so that it flips by itself based on the condition. Yeah.
Yeah, so the idea here is the
Sure.
x value is being set to 1 if not facing left, and the x value is being set to -1 when we are facing the other direction.
Okay.
So that's going to
that
sort
makes
of
sense.
control that value, and then, the walk action is just going to pick up from it, from whatever that
Okay,
is, right?
and so have you changed?
So the thing is, there's got to be a point, though. Like, there's got to be a sort of point where
That switch happens.
that switch happens, right? Where we set facing left to true, and I think that's pretty much where we cannot detect any more floor.
Yeah, it should be when we can't detect any more floor, and it could be right or left. Which is why we were saying, so that facing left, if we're drawing that collision detection thing, based on the transform of the player, when that gets local scaled into the negative or positive, it should follow. And then exactly what you said. So for right now, we don't even have to worry about wall. We can just worry about a ledge, and just have it like, once it detects a ledge, that conditional value should then set it to the opposite, or set facing left to the opposite, which should then in turn propagate down to the velocity. So it should be -1 or +1, and it should move left or right.
Yeah, I'm not
Here's
sure
something,
if the swap will happen fast enough.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, let me just give it a shot. Just gonna remove this. I'm just gonna make it a whole group action. So for one, we're figuring out whether we want to face left or not, right?
Oh, hold on.
The other is whether we want to the actual setting of this thing. Then here in default action provider, we are using the group Drake action. I'm hoping this just works.
Cool. Yeah, I'm hoping so too. Sorry, my light fell and stuff like that.
Doesn't seem to work.
Looks like it doesn't work because that's how code works.
No, because there's an error. It's not.
Oh, well, got him.
5,125s. Invalid operation. Drake state missing on Drake. Oh, crap. I should just ignore this then. I shouldn't throw an exception then here.
Right. That is exactly right. That is exactly right. I agree.
Bing bong. What's up?
Bing
Oh,
bong.
we got a bing bong.
Thanks for the,
that
thanks
is
for
right.
The,
we haven't had a bing bong in a while. Maybe since we got our 100 follower goal. Maybe. Wait,
yeah.
wait. Wasn't that Royku who gave us the 100 follower? Am I wrong about that?
I think that's true. I think that Roku was the 100.
It was Royku. Yes. That's right.
Dope.
Nope.
I knew it.
Can't forget that.
Oh yeah. Velvet with the yer. Okay,
Oh, no.
Here we go. Here we go.
what's happening?
In typical New York
New
style.
fashion. Yep.
Typical New York style.
So a few things, but yeah. So what Roku said makes a very fair, or Roku makes a very fair point.
Very good point here.
The thing about game design is that the reason that I enjoy it a lot is it's one of those things that people think is only about code, but as you said, you can bring in interior design, cooking, carpentry, painting, like ideas from many different disciplines into game design. Like game design is games meld all the aspects of art and science. So there's physics for gravity and stuff. There's art for the characters. There's music. There's now with how games are becoming more cinematic. If you play like Uncharted or God of War, there's cinematography. There's filmography. There's so much breadth and like depth into a game that you can pull from all these fields, and it is definitely coming to such a big thing. And like you said, you don't necessarily need school, and like it's definitely great. To toxicity rolls, our goal for finishing up the game. So as for a time frame, we aren't fully sure. Again, we have things planned out, but things take longer and shorter than we expect. But the goal is to put this game on Steam and hopefully on Switch, and have it be an indie game that we can put out for everyone to play. We'll definitely be putting out some demos and alphas and betas before then, but right now we're building out our core functionalities in the game with these free assets before we get actual art of the players and stuff and characters into the game. Because again, all this right now is just temporary, but what we plan to do is we're going to get art done and swap these out once we're done. But yeah, we want to show the game development process, show how we figure out stuff like this. How do we get our enemy to move back and forth without code? Because if we use code, we could have had this done in 10 minutes. But using this new system, we're trying to learn new things, take new approaches, and that's the goal while doing this.
And once we bring on a few more people, like an actual like artist to build out more assets, and we actually build out like most of the world of the game, and perhaps we get a publisher. We have to have a lot of we have to have a lot more conversations.
Yeah.
And we have to flesh out a lot of things before we can have a more solidified plan. But a few years down the line is probably a good answer there.
Yep.
Yeah,
for sure.
But Quan did have a few solidified answers there, which is the goal is to have it on Steam for PC and a console game like the Switch.
Yep.
So it could be playable for all you guys, and demos on a site such as itch.io.
Yep.
Thank you for the question. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate the questions. Again, there may be some new people in chat who may not know all the details, so these questions help us to reinforce for everyone who does know, and for people who don't know, getting them up to speed on what we're doing, why we're here, why are we streaming on Thursdays, right?
And with that being said, let's get back into helping Alex solve the problem.
Right. Yes, so and then Alex is going to have it fixed right now. Is that what's going to happen?
This is usually what happens.
Of course.
Oh, here we go. Moonwalk?
Yeah, moonwalk. That's fresh.
Yeah, it happens.
yeah.
It's probably happening so quick that you're not able to see the change. And no, that's what it was. I forgot to adjust here as well. Draw gizmos, transform, extents is this.
Yes. It should be facing, or I forget what it's called, like facing key, or what would you use?
Oh no, yeah, I use this sort of thing here. Let me bring it over. I think here should be a safe place to do it.
Toxicity, you may try to do Tetris, and you don't know why you keep making new projects. That's not a bad thing at all, actually. Keep trying the new projects.
I think that's like a common thing that I see on like game dev Twitters, like just a lot of memes about like always starting new projects and never finishing the one before.
It's also part of the art process.
It's actually, like that, like trying to stick with one project that's actually a good thing to try and do, but like trying new projects too, that could also be a good thing.
Okay, so you can kind of see the colliders sort of swapping to a different thing. So the moment it detects so it's two things, right? It's setting the left state to true, so it facing left if it can no longer detect floor, and then facing right the moment it can detect wall.
Okay, got it.
So,
I understand.
or not facing left.
So this wouldn't work if you had like ledges on both sides, you're saying, at the moment, or would it?
No, it would.
Oh,
it's
okay.
No. Maybe you're right. Yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
You're totally right.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
This is this very specific situation of like we're going to the left until we hit a wall. So it's kind of like I have to create something what I would call an OR condition, which I was going to do at some point, where it takes all like multiple conditions, just like a group action.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, exactly.
Down, like any one of these could be true. So I keep going left until I keep going in either direction until I hit a wall, or there's no more floor to go. So
gotcha.
In this
makes
case,
sense.
right? This would be like I keep going. I go one way until there's not any floor left. And there's a wall? Something.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Quick shout out. Year to go get pro. And Lazy Leaf says it's not a bug, it's a feature. This is working as expected. The enemies got rhythm, because it's funny because the Drake is definitely schmoovin', like my man got that shoulder action going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely fun. But yes, I totally hear you.
Hold on, let me just real quickly add that facing thing.
And I don't want to ignore what Royku just said, but you said you have neat context from your game design school. The producer of Call of Duty played your games and liked them. Nice. And the lead artist of Angry Birds is in a PM on your Discord. That's interesting. That's good to know for yourself. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm proud of you.
That's some context to have for sure. Yeah,
I'm proud of you. That's
come in handy.
I'm proud of you. And also, that's good advice that you gave to Toxicity Rose, that doing your own it's like doing your own mini 4-hour game jams, learning something each time, applying the knowledge in future projects. Great advice. Awesome.
Yo, I'm weak. Lazy Leaf says, give us what the crowd wants. A boss level that jerks, so clapping everything, so they're just doing the jerk and like add the boss battle, or like a stiff milli rock, you know what I'm saying?
Jesus.
Now that would be something. I mean, now that's like a good idea for a rhythm game. Like every boss, you gotta like out milli rock, out jerk, out Dougie them. You know what I'm saying? The do-rag.
Yeah, we gotta have joke levels that are not meant to be put into the game, just as joke content. We'll do that, in our spare time. And
Toxicity redeem that hydrate, and that's
Thank you. No one has reminded us to drink water. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on.
For sure. To everyone who's watching as well, get some water. Get up.
Yeah, you know what? Do that. And that's gonna remind me to stretch my back.
Yeah, word. Let me stretch my back here. I've been sitting for a while.
Easter eggs.
Yo, look.
Can't afford to remind you.
I can't afford to remind y'all to drink water. Oh no!
It's just channel points. We're not asking you to to cheer for us or anything.
I mean, you can if you want. No, don't do that.
You can give us the bits, but I think.
Okay, all right. I understand. We appreciate it.
During Phasmophobia, Go Get Pro was.
That's true.
In all the alerts and stuff in a chat, so I totally get it.
It's true.
Oh man, fun times.
We could always lower the channel point amount for that stuff.
Hey, thanks for the follow, Toxicity.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Toxicity. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We are now at 111 followers. It's lit.
Help us hit that 150 follower goal.
Yeah, appreciate it. Getting closer and closer.
Set local scale.
And so this is for just setting the scale of anything. So this could be an enemy, a boss, a rock. Anything works. Right?
It's a rock.
It's a rock. It's not just a boulder.
It's a rock. Yeah, shout out to SpongeBob for literally all meme content. Every month there's a new SpongeBob meme that is relatable. Like, SpongeBob is too relatable. Don't at me. This is the truth. That's it.
I have a database of just references in my head of
because they're all too good. They're all too good. You can reference anything probably with SpongeBob.
It's true.
Lazy Leaf says the wave check. I just noticed that. I mean, you gotta have the wave check. If your shit not spinning, it's clipped. Can you imagine that? Like, it's a mini game where you gotta brush your hair faster and faster, and then it's like a 2-player game. Whoever brushes more has the better waves. Anyway, that is very niche humor. Go for it. Yeah,
get in the conference room for Mario Party. Just get it. Go in Nintendo. Go in the room. Send notes.
Yo, that used to be so fun on a DS. Just sending the dumbest notes on a chat. Oh man.
Yo.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. The Drake flips. Will it flip right? It does.
Let's go.
Cool.
Okay.
Hey, that's great. That's great.
Nice. Hold on. That's clean.
That's clean for sure.
That's clean. No, it's clean, Alex. It's clean.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, there's definitely gonna have to be some adjustment.
Crisp.
Hold on. Tetris is super hard, but Skyrim is easier to make. That is a classic.
Okay.
That's a classic Roiku quote, I guess.
So I need to. Yeah, and like I said, like in order to create these like sort of like little code logic asset script logic things, whatever. I start off with the base class, and like every condition starts from this, and it's just whether it's valid. Like, is it valid, right? Yeah, I need an or condition. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that like probably need like an or and an and or something.
Well, technically, when you do group action, yeah, probably an and. It's just gonna be generic group condition, and then we're just gonna have different like operations for them. That's all.
Yeah.
But this is just so that we can just put things together.
Goal get pros on
aggressive
delay because of Twitch on iOS.
While I work on this, is there any added sort of thing that you want to add to this enemy now that it can go back and forth?
I say now that it goes back and forth, if we can use the same state and it's moving, let's just make it run instead of just like jive its shoulders and like dance as it just slides across the floor. I've already set up the animations, so if you click on the Drake in the scene view and then go to the animation pane, we can take a look at the animations on the Drake.
Oh, sure.
Okay, Roiku, I get what you're saying. Like the algorithms behind like making puzzles, they're hard, but like making a game like Skyrim, there's a lot that goes into it. Like
Sorry, you said you already made an animation for it?
Like making music, you have the art, you have the programmers, you have the marketing, you have all these different things that go into making a game like Skyrim, but like making a puzzle game like Tetris, that's different. You know what I mean?
For me.
That's what I mean by it's harder.
Nani.
Yeah. I get what you're saying though.
Did you push?
I did.
I pulled from main earlier.
I get what you're saying.
Oh no! I guess I didn't push. Sorry, it's still here in my GitHub.
What are the files?
It's just anim files.
Animation. Do it.
Yeah, it's
control
and animation.
I'll just stash this and then.
I think it should be fine. I don't think it should have any conflict. Why didn't it push before? Anyway, interesting. Let me just push this real quick. Weird. I could have sworn I pushed that earlier. Like I saw the message in Discord. I thought. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and
there's no merge conflicts.
Nice. Now you should magically reload and see some more animation states. Boom. That looks right. Now if you go to the scene view and the animation pane, now we'll see the actual.
How do we do it?
You can take a look at the.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to see how it's done for player specifically.
We use the wall. Yeah, we have the conditions here, and so that's what I'm curious about. We need a similar thing for the Drake.
Oh yeah, sure.
But yeah, we'll set it somewhere else.
I'm walking over here.
Roiku with the wholesome content.
Yeah, of course.
And Toxicity Rose asked you, Roiku, what would you recommend be the easiest? Let's hear what you gotta say.
Easiest what?
I think easiest like a small game to build. I think for some.
Is that what's used often? Pong.
Because Roiku is talking about in chat was saying like Skyrim is easier to build than Tetris, and I was trying to explain that. I didn't really know how to explain that.
I disagree. Like, I get that Tetris is a puzzle, but Skyrim is something else.
If you're talking about I didn't really know how to like puzzle games. It's a different level of hard than like like building like typical like I don't know. I didn't know how to
dragons. The classic meme. You're finally awake. I love those. Those are so good.
Yeah, there's a lot more that goes into building like a really expansive open world game like Skyrim. So
yeah, I can imagine.
That's why it's hard. That's why it's hard. It requires a lot more work. That's what is hard to me.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine building Skyrim.
So what I would recommend to a beginner, like someone who is just getting into like game programming and doesn't want to feel like too intimidated by it, so like someone like Toxicity Rose, for example, like Pong, that's a great start. Or just like looking up basic game tutorials on you know what, the game dev god on YouTube. God. What's his name? Quan?
Brackeys. Go look for Brackeys. Brackeys literally like Brackeys has been holding up my game dev career for years. His back must hurt because he holds up the game dev community. You know what I'm saying? Like those videos get tons of views because
it's true.
It's easy, simple, nicely explained, stuff like that. RPG Maker is also good. Flappy Bird is also a good go to. Game Maker is an engine that I've used a little bit before. It's also fine. Unity works.
Well, you don't have to like stick to Unity. Like Unity doesn't represent game development. Unity is just one game engine that you could use to develop games, right? We're using Unity because like this is what we learned initially in school, right? But there's many different game engines that you can use.
Unreal, Game Maker, RPG
Unreal
Maker.
Engine, Game Engine, what he just said.
Yeah.
And there's tons of tutorials on YouTube, for example.
All right, and I see Alex has made changes to try and change the animation state based on this.
A lot of good recommendations in chat right now. A lot of good recommendations in chat right now. Yeah. Oh,
is it that the animation is too slow? Because it looks funny, like it almost doesn't look like it's walking, right?
It depends. It kind of looks like it's lizard walking.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to think. Should we speed up the animation, or is that fine? You think? Maybe it's just my brain.
Wait. Are we looping it? Maybe that's why. No, we're looping it. Yeah, it's looping.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm saying just like I wonder if in the like animation pane, if it, or you could use speed as well. I guess do like 1.2 is too. Yeah, we'll see. I think now it's going to be moving, but hey, we'll find out. Yeah, do 1.5 maybe.
How's that?
How does that look to you, Chris?
I'm sorry, I was interacting with chat. Show me again.
No good. Yeah, we're just looking at the animation. So this is the animation for the Drake at the moment.
I like that.
And I said it looks a little bit slow. Like for how fast it's moving, it looks a bit slow to me.
I could just slow it from moving this fast. Slow it.
I think that's a fine speed though for the enemy to move.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
It's hard to zoom in without. Okay, I did it 1.5.
I say leave it at 1 then. It's fine.
Yeah. 1.5 is a little too.
Yeah, I say just leave it at 1. It's all good. But yeah, now
that works.
Now the enemy can walk and the animation changes.
Yeah, so now I had to do a couple things. One, I had to connect the animator, the set bool event. The other thing was adding something to set it. And remember, I started migrating player controller over to use this action-based system.
Yep.
So if I could find it, it's just doing similar thing, right? The walking state key, which is really purely used by the animator, as you can see here, is being set to true if Drake is walking, and Drake is walking when it's Drake X is not 0. Keep in mind, I'm using Drake X and like for state keys and stuff like that, but I don't actually have to. Like there's not like gonna be any collision between players' keys or Drake's keys because they all have their own states and their own state controllers.
I understand.
So I could literally use the same keys, as
like Drake X, you mean?
I could even use the same names if I wanted to. I just don't.
I get it. Okay,
Because they're in different folders.
fair enough. Okay, heard you. All right, so with that, what else might we go? All right, so then now that we have it moving left and right, do we want to try and add like a patrol where like it stops after it gets to like a right wall for X seconds, then goes back left, then goes back right, instead of it just like bouncing back like kind of mindlessly? Like we may need like a condition. I was gonna say, yeah, it might be tough. We need like a condition, like weight almost, like a.
No, I mean that part might not be as tough, but it'd be tough to maybe think about it on the spot to like how to set this up.
Sure. Okay.
We need to like the moment like the switch happens. We need to, or maybe the moment we hit a wall, we need to set a timer, right? But we don't always want to set that timer. So we want to do it in that one single moment and then not do it.
So I have two options. Okay, go ahead.
No. Go for it. It's fine.
I was gonna say two options. We can either brainstorm the whole like patrolling thing, like waiting once they get to the edge, like at least brainstorm how we're gonna do it, or we can do like the next thing that I was considering, which was having the enemy be able to like deal basic damage to the player just by like colliding with the player.
Okay, I say let's go for that. I think that might be easier because they both have colliders.
Right.
So I think that we should be able to, based on like if they collide, just have the player take damage. I think that's fine, and then I think that's fine. How does it sound to you, Alex?
I think I think it might be possible to do what I just said.
Okay.
Because see
Which
here,
what?
This whole swapping of like turning left and all that.
See you, Marvin. Peace out.
Oh, see you later.
Thanks for popping in, Marvin. Thanks.
And then
you see what I'm doing here, right?
Yeah.
With this Drake left. So I added this option before, for a different reason, but you'll see I said something called do nothing if default, right? What this means is that
wait, what, do nothing if default? Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It just means that it's not going to use any default value, like if none of these conditions apply.
Okay,
so
sure.
The goal is to not actually override it just because like to false just because none of these things happen. It just means that it doesn't set anything, right? So it could be like this, like basically yes. No, forget it. Let's just do the other thing.
Okay, sure, that's fine.
I lost it. I meant like I'd have to do some sort of group action type of thing, I think.
Got it.
This, yeah.
So so basic collision damage here. Your collision detection state or
Drake is
can detect it. Yeah, we probably need an enemy. Yeah, an enemy layer and a tag, or maybe just enemy tag. I don't know.
For now, I think we just need the enemy layer. I mean, we could do enemy attack, but I
say
think
less.
No, but I think that's just enemy, right?
Yeah, but we need a tag as well for like collisions and stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
Like if we were use the compare tag, I think.
Yeah, you're right. I think we need one for player.
Oh wow, we didn't have a tag for player.
Oh no. There's probably already one. Probably already exists a default like tag called player. Like just like how there's one for camera.
Sure, yeah.
There's already like a default.
Yeah, okay.
That's why we didn't need.
Okay, I was like, wait, we didn't make that.
Yeah. So Drake can be part of the enemy like tag and also enemy layer.
Yep.
Here. Where is it? Physics 2D? Yeah. So how do we want to set this up? Player and enemy.
So actually no, you had the right idea. We don't want to use these layers the same way how the attack, right? It's a separate collider. remember the idea was to make a second collider on player specifically for damage, right? So maybe we need another tag or layer that's like, I don't know, player hitbox or something. And if that collides with the enemy, then you take damage. Not if it collides with player, because we want them to be able to walk through each other to a degree.
Yes,
because we don't want them to be like walled when they touch.
Posture check, guys.
Oh, let me just.
Got that posture check. Always good posture.
So we want enemy and player not to collide, right? We want enemy and player tech to collide. We don't want enemy and enemy to collide. I think that's pretty much the gist of it, right? For player, we want to add a collider that's like hitbox. Yeah, we just have to be very careful. Like, remember how we morph the collider based on animation? We may have to apply that same morphing to, this hitbox, but,
I understand, yeah, that makes sense.
But for now.
So, I guess let's create a new empty object, add a box collider 2D. Yeah. Or we can make it a capsule, it's a mirror, but it's up to us.
No, I think it should be a capsule. I think it should be as like,
as accurate as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not gonna, because the capsule is one thing. In fact, that capsule might. We don't have any slopes type of. I don't think we have any. We're gonna have any slope type of things in our game, do we?
We might.
What do you mean by that?
I think we could. As in, like, as of right now, everything is blocks. There are no like angled floors.
I mean, I wouldn't say we won't have them. I'm pretty sure we definitely will.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule it out necessarily. So I think that a capsule still works. And we can call this this layer hitbox or a player hitbox or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we should probably create a layer for it.
Again, just so everyone knows the approach we're trying to take. Right now, the player has a collider, which is how they're not falling through the floor, because the collider says, okay, you're touching the ground, don't fall through, etc., etc. We could have it where if the enemy touches the player's current collider, the player will take damage. But the way that these colliders work is that they are not triggers, and what that means is that they have like physical presence, in that like if two colliders touch, they will not pass through each other. That's how the player is standing right now. The ground has a collider that is like has a physical kind of air presence. Same with the player, so they don't pass through each other. We want the player to be able to walk through the enemy, even though they will take damage. They should be able to walk through. We don't want them to just like collide and just stop with the enemy. In the future, of course, we'll probably have like a knockback where like when the player takes damage, they'll knock back, so they'll effectively collide. But we want to have control on that with animations. We don't want that to be a hard stop in the physics of the game. So we're creating a second collider on the player that will only handle the damage. So if this second collider gets touched, the player will take damage. But
yeah, I was about to say we do want the knockback. We want the knockback in the future, right?
Yep, exactly. And by having this second hitbox be a trigger, it means it's invisible. Like, it will detect if something passes through it, but it won't hard stop it. Because what would happen in the original case is like if an enemy has a sword, it would like bonk against the player, whereas that might work in a 3D game, but in a 2D game, it's fine if the sword like passes through the player and they take damage. That's the idea we're going for here.
Okay, and then in the project settings, so this hitbox, we don't necessarily need it to collide the player hitbox with like player attack or even.
Yeah, no.
If this is the first time you're seeing this screen here in the project setting, this is basically
enemy to enemy.
This is like how layers interact with each other, right? Is this how you would describe that?
Yeah, it's a graph of how the layers interact with each other, and everything has a check. Means if something on this layer touches something on this layer, they will not pass through each other, like they will collide. If there's not a check, it means they will not. So for example, we don't want the enemy at the top and the enemy at the bottom. Like, we don't want enemies to collide with each other. They should be able to pass through, so we don't check that. and we don't want the player to be touched by an enemy. We want the player hitbox to be touched by an enemy. Hence, we have a check. Yeah.
Yep.
And so now we are going to add a... What are we adding here, actually? A collide event controller? Yeah. So a collide event controller, what this script does is just... It runs some piece of code when anything touches the collider. That compare tag means if you get touched by something of this tag. So if you remember, we tagged the enemy with the tag enemy.
Oh no, we don't want it here.
Why not?
Because we have to determine damage. Like we
Oh, like how much damage it does to the player, and what do we do that? Because how did we do that with the kill zone? We should mirror it off that. I remember we did a similar thing where like
well, kill zone we kind of just like hard coded that, I think. Let me see.
Oh, did we?
Or no, this is what we did. We used a game event thing. So the enemy on collide event, like hitting this thing, this player would have to send it like and apply game event raise.
I think that's the enemy, or I get it because it needs to know how much damage it needs to do. I get it.
Yeah, here on player health slots apply. Basically, this is it sending how much damage it should be doing on the player.
Okay, so I think that's good. So how do we do that? We have to.
It's more like on the enemy we have to hit add that collide event controller.
Yeah. Okay. So on the enemy, when
on a collision, it should be 1.
Yeah.
Right.
It's already there.
Right.
Well,
-1, -1. Yeah.
Wait, it's already there. So
we have to add another one.
Why?
How do I say?
Yeah. Wait. Why? That sounds odd.
This one is if it gets attacked by player attack.
Oh,
so it's even this we may have to modify a bit.
I'm saying wait, why?
No. This is because this is on itself. This is if it's taking damage to itself, right? So now we have to like have another one if it's right.
I guess my point is that there may have to be a different sort of mechanism for transferring damage to another thing.
To another one, because this is applying health slots to itself. We have to apply health slots to the player instead of to itself.
So I'm saying you couldn't, in the top one, you couldn't add an extra collided that says when it collides with player.
No, we can't. What I'm saying is like
right.
We're setting very specific values of like -1 and 1 here in the editor, but that should definitely be calculated somewhere and sent through. You get?
I do. You're saying like you don't want to pick the values in the inspector.
Yeah, probably not best. Like that might be something that we add like onto the, like just an enemy controller in general. Like
I get it.
How much damage, right? That like
enemy does on collision or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this does make sense right here that this is a separate collision though, because it is a separate collision though, right?
Yeah, but it shouldn't need another controller. Like that's the point of being able to add them. That's why I'm lost about the second controller.
No. What I'm saying is like we could use a second collide event controller right now, or we could just create a whole new controller at some point. It may not have to be right now. I'm just like saying that this is definitely to calculate value, like to calculate damage.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it out. Sure.
Yeah, but for now, here we can do like enemy. Sorry, player hitbox.
Oh, I get it. I now understand. Because compare tag only takes one type, we can't add multiple things there.
Well, more than that, I don't know if we just want to just like hard code or hard set damage values like this. We may want to do it differently where, I don't know, who knows, we may have some sort of like multiplier or there's maybe some sort of effect on the player.
Sure, yeah. So I think so another thing that we can do to refactor in the future, the same way how we went from, you remember in Wake Up, we originally had game event listener and then we had the game event listeners where we could add like multiple. I think collide event could use a similar thing where you can pick different compare tags on one script and for each compare tag, it'll check it and run its collided stuff. Does that make sense?
Like the collide response for a particular compare tag.
Yeah, and I'm saying now again, that's later. Let's not even like think about that now, but that would come in handy if we need, for example, like multiple things on one collide event that aren't always damaged. Like if uncollide needs to, I don't know, start doing some other thing, we could have different tags. But yeah, right now then this. So player hitbox. Now what are we doing here? We have to drag in the player object, right?
No,
I think
in our case, we're sending. It's like sending in an event, right? If I could find that event.
We only want that to fire once.
Yeah, we want to get hit per frame. I think that's how that would work. I'm not fully. Yep.
It's not going to hit per frame because we're doing it uncollided.
Oh yes,
The only reason
yes.
you end up getting back in there is if you were to like come out and then get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but of course, there's something that we can do in the player at some point, as a sort of damage frame where they got some damage on them, and then there's like that invincibility.
Yeah, the invincibility frames. Yeah,
which is really just like
and then wake up.
disabling the hitbox. Think about it. Right? Did you guys freeze? Y'all froze? Oh crap! Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Okay.
Hello?
Is it me
Alex
or
frozen?
is Alex frozen?
Oh.
Okay, yeah, you're back. You were stuck in like one position for a minute. And
No.
I'm like,
You guys too. I think like might have been my internet.
oh, stream is stuck. I'm looking now.
Did the stream go down? That would suck.
No, I'm still moving on the stream. It's you guys that aren't moving. Hold on.
No, you weren't moving. You weren't moving.
Yeah,
Hey,
you weren't moving.
Hey, chat, are we good? Let's go. Are we moving? Uh-oh, there was a hiccup, according to Roiku.
Oh, Roiku, can you see us though?
Yeah, I'm looking on stream now, but we're all good now.
Did we go down?
I don't know. It doesn't say we
No,
went down.
it seemed like it just like glitched. It just like had a little hiccup for a quick minute. We're back though. I'm looking on stream. We're moving. We're moving.
Okay, cool. We're in the final leg here anyway. We're gonna try to finish this final thing here.
Yep.
Like for example, right there.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I just took damage.
Okay, so here's what we should do. Let's make the Drake right a prefab and put it and put the Drake in caves 1 because that has the like heart indicator, so we'll definitely know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We have not been in the cave.
You know,
in caves in a little while.
Part of me doesn't want to make this a prefab just yet, but
okay, fine. Then I'm okay with it if you just copy the object.
Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah, because I get it. We aren't done with it yet and everything.
Gonna apply it off here. We'll take this prefab. Oh, all the refactoring that's going to happen. Where are my prefabs at? Oh, here it is. Freak.
Feel free not to commit that though if you want. Like I get that this is not done, so maybe we don't want to keep it as a prefab.
I'll delete it as a prefab at some point and then like unpackage it. It's not
sure.
that big a deal.
Cool, no problem, no problem.
Scenes.
Cave scenes. Yeah, we have so many structures here. Okay. Yeah, just anywhere works, I think. At the top middle there.
I'll put it right here because this is the one that makes most sense.
Sure. A ledge.
This is the one a ledge on the right, wall on the left.
Okay, sure, that's fine.
Because it's that very specific condition.
Yep.
Hold on, guys. I want to read out this. Comment from Roiku. It's very wholesome. Here we go.
Go for it.
BK Game Devs. Thank you, guys. Your passion for the project and game dev, and your strive for teamwork, is inspiring. Keep up the good work. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Content. We appreciate it. We hope that your journey in game dev goes too. We're glad to always have people who are supporting us. We support you. Again, just wholesome content. Thanks so much. Great to have you.
Yeah, and thanks for everyone who has tuned in and continues to support us.
Yeah, what was that?
You also saw that, right?
What was that?
like player just like fell into the abyss. Whoa!
Okay, hold on, let me disable player real quick.
Hit him with that nani, bruh.
Okay, it's probably because
it's
player was active. At some
Yeah,
point,
I got it.
You know, those weird things. Okay.
All right, so now we can't dash. Dash on the floor and see.
It's that conditional thing. Wait, no, why can't we dash?
Uh-oh.
It's that good old wave dash. Wait, why do we take damage?
No, because I fell.
Oh, I didn't notice. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, I couldn't move for a second.
That a wave dash in place.
Ah, crap. Yeah, see?
Okay.
I took damage, but also, like,
You took
what is
damage.
going on?
But whoa,
Yeah.
the dash is
You know what it is?
It's now a spot dodge.
I player controller is being partially migrated, which means
Also, it's not fully done.
walk action is probably taking over and setting velocity to 0. And not taking into account dashing it, because dashing is not a part of it just yet.
Got it.
Dashing becomes
The refactor.
Wait, Alex, can you show that bug again? I'm just curious. I just want to see it again.
It's not necessarily a bug. It's just like a byproduct of not having completed the migration to player controller. You can see there, like,
I love that.
That is kind of cool though.
It looks so funny.
Wait, so like, what are you doing for that to happen? You just can't dash at all.
no, it's because there's two different things now, sort of happening. Player controller and the action-based system part of player controller are going against each other. In fact,
Okay.
this would probably work if how do you say, like, they would all start sort of like all the code in player controller would keep in mind everything in the action-based system. If instead of like these variables here, like is jumping, is, you know, wall sliding, dashing, they were set using the state controller state from within here.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, but the goal is to like sort of over time bring in each one. So at the moment, a bit of a bug, but it's something that gets fixed as I continue to build out that player controller system using all these action-based system stuff, like we did for Drake.
Yeah, makes sense. Can we see the player taking damage again though?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see that happening.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
You know, let's do this. Yeah, nice.
Cool.
I just gotta use double jump to do this.
So you could take damage from falling at spikes. We had established that in a former stream, but now you could take damage from the Drake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I guess one of the other things we can do shortly in another stream is like the player actually like dying.
Yeah, same with the Drake. There's an animation for death. Again, once we get there, we will handle those animations so that the player doesn't just tank their final heart of damage and just stay alive.
Yeah. Yeah, that Drake stuff definitely needs updating.
Yeah, we will update it for sure. I definitely see how we got it to work, but this is definitely the first iteration of this enemy controller and stuff.
Yeah, because
So
everything's
we'll definitely
just
get
gonna everything's happening on this group
Yep.
action, and it's just like
Mhm.
setting Drake left or right depending on a certain condition. That, you know, Drake X takes that value and then sets 1 or -1, you know, based on which one. Then the facing gets set based on facing left as well, and then, you know, walking happens based on the X value of Drake X.
Makes sense.
I guess some stuff has to happen to start a what I call a time action, right? And then a condition would have to check like whether we've surpassed that time. But we have to make sure that the time action is only run at a very specific moment. That moment where we actually switch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that could be done through group actions, but I think we'll see. You know, it's stuff that we gotta play around with. I'll definitely, what I'll do is I'll clean up this stuff, to make sure it's I guess just easier to read, and then we can add the other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure. Just because there's 5 minutes left, just again a quick shout out. If you're new here, thanks for joining us. We also do gaming streams on Wednesdays where we don't do game development, we just play games. That's every Wednesday at 6:30. So right now we're playing Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. So we played that yesterday. It was a fun time. So join us next week for that. And on Thursdays we do game development like we did here today. And again, just this is in the works. We aren't sure, but we may do some random streams offhand. Yes, it is a cool game so far for sure. But we'll be doing some random streams, or we may be doing some random streams, or we might just be like heads down in game development, so you guys can see that, or like heads down into a game. We won't be doing as much narration and and stuff as we play. It'll be more so just to chill, hang out, nothing too intense, just chat with y'all while we're doing whatever it is that we're doing, but not as intense as our
right, because the
intention
intention with the gaming, if you were here yesterday for Bloodstained, the intention is not to do 100% playthrough of these games. The intention is to show you some of the cool key moments and give you commentary from the perspective of game developers like us,
Mm-hmm.
And then once in a while we will play co-op multiplayer games and just have some fun and showcase some personalities. Bloodstained is good platformer reference, I agree, and that was our first time playing it yesterday, and I had a grand time. It was great. Everyone was making fun of me. It was awesome, but it was fun. It was fun. And we're gonna be playing it again next Wednesday. And every Thursday we continue with the game development, and we want to thank everyone for showing up. We had some new faces today. We had some old faces, and we're working on a Metroidvania called Soribel. Thank you for joining the journey.
Yeah, we're trying.
We accomplished a good amount today. We got our enemy Drake, to walk back and forth, and able to flip once it hits an edge, once it hits the wall.
Yep.
It can walk back and forth, and then towards the end of our stream, our player can now take damage once it collides with the enemy Drake. And we noticed that there was a few bugs along the way, which we're going to try to fix off stream. And we will see you next Wednesday for some gaming. And like we said, we might be throwing in some random streams. It's not confirmed, but if you see a random BK Game Dev stream on 11:34 on Saturday morning, don't be alarmed, but it might happen.
Word.
And thank you for all the interaction. Thank you for all the interaction in chat. We appreciate you guys.
We appreciate it. I don't think we'll be doing the random pole dancing stream, but it's not a bad idea. But pretty sure that's not on the agenda. But thanks for the suggestion.
But we will definitely still be sticking to the Wednesday and Thursday structure. But we wanted to give you guys a heads up in case that happens.
Yep. And with that, it's 8 o'clock or just about 8. So we will see you all next week. Hope you guys have a good weekend. And, we hope you join us again for gaming and game dev.
GG's. We're the BK Game Devs.
Yep. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Peace out. Have a good night.
Peace out, everyone.
Peace out.